you.
Alrighty, now over to Tom.
Well, people from the Deep South to the Upper Midwest battled a propane shortage last winter. We're joined today by Roy Willis. He's the CEO and president of PERC, the Propane Education and Research Council, to tell us how to get energy ready for the coming cold weather and hopefully avoid some of those delivery challenges and those price hikes that occurred last winter. Thanks for joining us, Roy. Tell us what happened last winter to cause not only the propane hikes, but the delivery challenges as well.
Well, it started with corn drying in the upper Midwest really depleted their local stockpiles of propane, and so they were coming to South Carolina and other places to get fuel for what turned out to be one of the coldest winters in more than 50 years in some parts of the country. So a lot of demand for propane that was extraordinary. More propane used than many consumers had used in over a generation. So it was just a surge in demand. And on top of that, we've got a very congested energy highway right now in the United States. We're producing a lot more energy, but the infrastructure to move that energy from where it's being produced to where it's consumed is very congested. And that includes everything from power lines, pipelines, truck routes, barge routes. We're just moving a lot of energy from one place to another.
Now, that kind of goes into our next question of how can we prevent that reoccurrence? Do we need more infrastructure with roads, or do we need to sort of try to look ahead? I know we try to forecast what those winters and summers are going to be like, but especially with the winter, do we need to forecast a little bit better so that we can get delivery of this propane earlier?
Yeah, complacency sort of bit us last winter too. You know, we had about 10 of the warmest winters on record over the last 12 years. So everybody was sort of more complacent about stockpiling and preparing. You know, propane is an excellent fuel that can be stockpiled for long periods of time without any effect of the fuel quality. But we didn't put as much in storage. The good news is consumers across the country have put more propane into their tanks in their homes and businesses and farms, anywhere from 15 to 25% more coming into this winter than we had last winter. And the other good news is we're producing a lot more propane. Just this week at a big energy conference, the Energy Information Administration is projecting that propane consumers will spend about 27% less for energy this year than they did last winter. Again, primarily because we're more prepared than we have been.
Absolutely. Our consumers a little bit more on their toes instead of being a little bit more complacent. Talk about some of the safety and efficiency tips to prepare for this coming winter for us.
We'll start in the home. I mean, the easiest things for consumers to do to improve energy efficiency is to insulate better, weather stripping around doors and windows, especially for homes that are built before 1980. They tend to be less energy efficient. When it comes to your furnace, there are a couple of steps that you should take. One is certainly pay attention to your air filters. Dirty air filters cause the furnace to use more energy to provide heat. Secondly, if you haven't had your furnace inspected or serviced by a trained technician in the last couple of years, now's a good time to do that. That'll make certain that your appliance is going to be there when you need it during the winter and not break down, obviously when you need it the most.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you, Roy. We do appreciate the information. Again, making sure that your furnace, your heating and air conditioning unit has been serviced, you got good filters, and try to keep that propane in stock as much as possible. Thank you so much for joining us from Washington, D.C. this morning.
Glad to be with you, Tom.
And we've got more after the break, so stay with us.